Food waste is a huge problem in developed countries, and Taiwan is no exception. Every day in Taiwan, an estimated 4,600 tons of food get discarded, which translates into millions of tons of food getting thrown away every year.
A new movement has emerged in Europe and the US, where people are fighting the problem by rescuing perfectly edible food from being tossed away. The trend is spreading to Taiwan, where grassroots activists are now inviting people to share their excess food. Our Sunday special report.
At lunchtime, buffet-style restaurants offer their customers a smorgasbord of different dishes, but many are unfinished when the lunch rush ends. These buffet leftovers often go in the bin and end up as food waste. Professor Xu Shi-sun of National Taiwan University's Department of Agricultural Economics estimates that nearly 3.7 million tons of food are wasted in Taiwan every year. But now, a new trend is emerging. These two young volunteers are part of a local food saving group called Food Renovation. They've come to pick up the leftovers. The food is not for themselves to eat, nor for homeless or disadvantaged people. They're delivering the leftovers to a student dormitory at National Taiwan University of Technology. This is a refrigerator dedicated to leftover food, known as a sharing fridge. Anyone can put in or take out food. You leave a label on the food you've donated to indicate its contents and the date when it was placed in the fridge. These volunteers are students who hope to solve the problem of food waste starting on their own campus.
We're hoping to first influence these students so in the future when they graduate they can influence more people with what they've seen here.
The concept of food sharing originated in Germany. It was inspired by the sharing economy model, which has upended market assumptions in recent years. In Berlin, there's a non-profit organization called Food Sharing. The founder noticed that people in Germany often buy too much food and can't get through it all. This inspired him to set up locations where people can give away excess food to anyone who can make use of it.
You don't have to be poor, you don't have to be rich. The only thing you have to be is a little bit aware of the normal rules, like being punctual, being clean with the place where you rescue the food.
German student Stefan Simon introduced the concept of food sharing to Taiwan in 2015. In the legal agreement he designed specifically for Taiwan, it clearly states that restaurants will not be held legally responsible if the food from their restaurant deteriorates during transportation. Besides that, volunteers of the organization are required to have ID cards made to prove their membership in the group, or the businesses reserve the right to not give away their food. But it's not always easy to promote the concept of food sharing in Taiwan, as many restaurants refuse to collaborate, and supporters of the movement are less confident.
People go to stores and just talk to the people there and say, hey, we would like to pick up food. And so far that happened in Taiwan, but so far that rarely happened in Taiwan. Like, people all the time tell me it's very new and unusual for them to go to a store and kind of ask to pick up food.
Right after the morning market closes, Liao Jialun, an employee of a leftover food restaurant, shows up in front of a vegetable stall, ready to collect the imperfect-looking agricultural produce rejected by consumers that day. After proper processing, these less-than-perfect fruit and vegetables will go on to become the main ingredients of the leftover dinner buffet. Usually, Liao displays the produce in front of the restaurant for neighbors to take home for free. What's left will then be taken to the kitchen for the chef to make tasty dishes with.
Some neighbors came to pick up vegetables this afternoon. They might not eat all of it at home. Sometimes they realize they've cooked too much, so they bring it back and share it with us. This is the cycle of the sharing economy.
A rich aroma rises from the sponge gourd as it fries in the pan. It's hard to imagine that just a few hours ago the star ingredient of this dish was rejected by customers. Other unwanted vegetables also become delicious delicacies at the hands of the chef. But experts say that recycling kitchens and food-sharing fridges are not the root solution to tackle food waste.
台湾一半浪费都是由消费者去贡献出来的。
Half of the food waste in Taiwan is contributed by consumers. Is it possible for us to make adjustments to our consumption habits? We need to think carefully before we make a purchase, before we buy food.
Taiwan is only 30% self-sufficient in its food production and is not really in a position to waste food. Nearly 10,000 tons of food have been saved in Germany through food sharing, an achievement that Taiwan could perhaps seek to emulate.